Jai Shri Ramakrishna. Letters of Swami Vivekananda, letter number 27, returned to his disciples in Madras, care of George W. Hale, Esquire, 541 Dearborn Avenue, Chicago, 24th January 1894. Dear friends, your letters have reached me. I am surprised that so much about me has reached you. The criticism you mention of the interior is not to be taken as the attitude of the American people. That paper is almost unknown here and belongs to what they call a blue-nosed Presbyterian paper. Very bigoted. Still, all the blue noses are not ungentlemanly. The American people and many of the clergy are very hospitable to me. That paper wanted a little notoriety by attacking a man who was being lionized by society. That trick is well known here, and they do not think anything of it. Of course, our Indian missionaries may try to make capital out of it. If they do, tell them, mark, Jew, a judgment has come upon you. The old building is tottering to its foundation and must come down in spite of their historical shrieks. I pity them if their means of living fine lives in India is cut down by the influx of Oriental religions here. But not one of their leading clergy is ever against me. Well, when I am in the pond, I must bathe thoroughly. I send you a newspaper cutting of the short sketch of our religion which I read before them. Most of my speeches are extempore. I hope to put them in book form before I leave the country. I do not require any help from India. I have plenty here. Employ the money you have in printing and publishing this short speech and translating it into the vernaculars. Throw it broadcast. That will keep us before the national mind. In the meantime, do not forget our plan of a central college and the starting from it to all directions in India. Work hard. About the women of America, I cannot express my gratitude for the kindness. Lord bless them. In this country, women are the life of every movement and represent all the culture of the nation, for men are too busy to educate themselves. I have received Kitty's letters with the question whether caste shall go or come. I have nothing to do. My idea is to bring to the door of the meanest, the poorest, the noble ideas that the human race has developed both in and out of India, and let them think for themselves whether there should be caste or not, whether women should be perfectly free or not, does not concern me. Liberty of thought and action is the only condition of life, of growth and well-being. Where it does not exist, the man, the race, the nation must go down. Caste or no caste, creed or no creed, any man or class, a caste, a nation or institution which bars the power of free thought and action of an individual, even so long as that power does not injure others, is devilish and must go down. My whole ambition in life is to set in motion a machinery which will bring noble ideas to the door of everybody, and then let men and women settle their own fate. Let them know what our forefathers as well as other nations have thought on the most momentous questions of life. Let them see specially what others are doing now and then decide. We are to put the chemicals together. The crystallization will be done by nature according to her laws. Work hard, be steady, and have faith in the Lord. Set to work. I am coming sooner or later. Keep the motto before you, elevation of the masses without injuring their religion. Remember, the nation lives in cottage. Remember that the nation lives in the cottage, but alas, nobody ever did anything for them. Our modern reformers are very busy about widow remarriage. Of course, I am a sympathizer in every reform. But the fate of a nation does not depend upon the number of husbands the widows get, but upon the condition of the masses. Can you raise them? Can you give them back their lost individuality without making them lose their innate spiritual nature? Can you become an Occidental of Occidentals in your spirit of equality, freedom, work, and energy, and at the same time a Hindu to the very backbone in religious culture and instincts? This is to be done, and we will do it. You're all born to do it. Have faith in yourselves. Great convictions are the mothers of great deeds. Onward forever. Sympathy for the poor, the downtrodden, even unto death. This is our motto. Onward, brave lads. Yours affectionately, Vivekananda. P.S. Do not publish this letter, but there is no harm in preaching the idea of elevating the masses by means of a central college and bringing education as well as religion to the door of the poor by means of missionaries trained in this college. Try to interest everybody. I send you a few newspaper cuttings only from the very best and highest. The one by Dr. Thomas is very valuable, as written by one of the, if not the leading clergymen of America. The interior, with all its fanaticism and thirst for notoriety, was bound to say that I was the public favorite. I cut a few lines from that magazine also. Vivekananda. Letter number 28. Return from Chicago, 29 January 1894 to Dewanji Sahib. Dear Dewanji Sahib, your last letter reached me a few days ago. You had been to see my poor mother and brothers. I am glad you did. But you have touched the only soft place in my heart. You ought to know, Dewanji, that I am no hard-hearted brute. If there is any being I love in the whole world, it is my mother. Yet I believed and still believe that without my giving up the world, the great mission which Ramakrishna Paramahansa, my great master, came to preach would not see the light. And where would those young men be who have stood as bulwarks against the surging waves of materialism and luxury of the day? These have done a great amount of good to India, especially to Bengal, and this is only the beginning. With the Lord's help, they will do things for which the whole world will bless them for ages. So, on the one hand, my vision of the future of Indian religion, and that of the whole world, my love for the millions of beings sinking down and down for ages, with nobody to help them, nay, nobody with even a thought for them. On the other hand, making those who are nearest and dearest to me miserable, I choose the former. Lord will do the rest. He is with me, I am sure of that, if of anything. So long as I am sincere, nothing can resist me, because He will be my help. Many and many in India could not understand me, and how could they, poor men? Their thoughts never strayed beyond the everyday routine business of eating and drinking. I know only a few noble souls like yourself appreciate me. I know only a few noble souls like yourself appreciate me. Lord bless your noble self, but appreciation or no appreciation, I am born to organize these young men. Nay, hundreds more in every city are ready to join me, and I want to send them rolling like irresistible waves over India, bringing comfort, morality, religion, education to the doors of the meanest and the most downtrodden. And this I will do or die. Our people have no idea, no appreciation. On the other hand, that horrible jealousy and suspicious nature, which is the natural outcome of 1,000 years of slavery, make them stand as enemies to every new idea. Still, the Lord is great. About the arati, footnote, waving of light, etc. before a deity. About the arati as well as other things you speak of, it is the form in every one of the monasteries in all parts of India, and the worshipping of Guru is the first duty inculcated in the Vedas. It has its bad and good sides, but you must remember we are a unique company. Nobody amongst us has a right to force his faith upon the others. Many of us do not believe in any form of idolatry, but they have no right to object when others do it, because that would break the first principle of our religion. Again, God can only be known in and through man. Vibrations of light are everywhere, even in the darkest corners, but it is only in the lamp that it becomes visible to man. Similarly, God, though everywhere, we can only conceive Him as a big man. All ideas of God, such as merciful, preserver, helper, protector, all these are human ideas, anthropomorphic, and again these must cling to a man. Call him a guru or a prophet or an incarnation. Man cannot go beyond his nature, no more than you can jump out of your body. What harm is there in some people worshipping their guru when that guru was 100 times more holy than even your historical prophets all taken together? If there is no harm in worshipping Christ, Krishna or Buddha, why should there be any in worshipping this man who never did or thought anything unholy, whose intellect only through intuition stands head and shoulders above all the other prophets, because they were all one-sided? It was he that brought first to the world this idea of truth, not in, but of every religion which is gaining ground all over the world, and that without the help of science or philosophy or any other acquirement. But even this is not compulsory. None of the brethren has told you that all must worship his guru. No, no, no. But again, none of us has a right to object when another worships. Why? Because that would overthrow this most unique society the world has ever seen. 10 men of 10 different notions and ideas living in perfect harmony. Wait, Divanji, the Lord is great and merciful. You will see more. We do not only tolerate but accept every religion, and with the Lord's help I am trying to preach it to the whole world. 3 things are necessary to make every man great, every nation great. 1. Conviction of the powers of goodness. 2. Absence of jealousy and suspicion. 3. Helping all who are trying to be and do good. Why should the Hindu nation, with all its wonderful intelligence and other things, have gone to pieces? I would answer you, jealousy. Never were there people more wretchedly jealous of one another, more envious of one another's fame and name than this wretched Hindu race. And if you ever come out in the West, the absence of this is the first feeling which you will see in the Western nations. 3 men cannot act in concert together in India for 5 minutes. Each one struggles for power, and in the long run the whole organization comes to grief. Lord, Lord, when will we learn not to be jealous in such a nation, and especially in Bengal, to create a band of men who are tied and bound together with a most undying love in spite of difference? Is it not wonderful? This band will increase. This idea of wonderful liberality, joined with eternal energy and progress must spread over India. It must electrify the whole nation and must enter the very pores of society in spite of the horrible ignorance, spite, caste feeling, old boobyism and jealousy, which are the heritage of this nation of slaves. You are one of the few noble natures who stand as rocks out of water in the sea of universal stagnation. Lord bless you forever and ever. Yours ever faithfully, Vivekananda. Arise, awake, onward. I only tell you this, that whoever reads this letter will imbibe my spirit. Have faith, onward. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.